Hi friends, today I am going to review the book, Enterprise Risk Management, From Incentives to Controls by James Lamb. Fundamentals of Risk. Risk is uncertainty. It is usually proportional to reward. Low-risk propositions usually don't pay much. Plenty of people are willing to take very little risk, and there's no need to pay them lots to do so, so the market doesn't. The greater the risk, the more the market offers to pay those willing to take it. This is a simplification, but not much of one. Generally speaking, there is no reward without risk, and the greater the reward, the greater the risk. The concept of no risk, no return is widely accepted in the business world. Many companies ran into trouble by ignoring this fundamental fact of financial life. When incredibly good financial returns came their way, they did not look closely to see why the market was paying them so much. Usually, the reason was that they were taking a big risk. Barings Bank, Procter & Gamble, Kidder Peabody, and numerous Japanese brokerage firms came to grief because they accepted big returns and big risks without due diligence. A prerequisite of effective risk management is that there should be a system of checks and balances to prevent any given individual, or group of individuals, from gaining excessive power to take risks on behalf of the organization. Companies have a choice. They can choose risk management or crisis management. Failure to manage risk effectively will probably result in a crisis. But everything is a matter of probability. Just as some people win the lottery, some firms may ignore risk management with impunity. The odds aren't terribly attractive in either case. Risk management means looking at returns on a risk-adjusted basis. Optimizing the trade-off between risk and return makes it possible for your company to take as little risk as possible commensurate with returns, and gets as much return as possible commensurate with risk. Risk management achieves this optimization by addressing internal controls and external risk transfer strategies, such as insurance and derivatives. An integrated and comprehensive risk management program must include both controls and hedging for 4 key reasons. Good management. Shareholders with large, diversified portfolios optimize their own risk-return trade-off, but managers must manage risk in their own businesses. Volatility. Risk management reduces the volatility of earnings. Some evidence shows that the stock market rewards companies with stable earnings records. Stockholder value. Active risk managers reap the reward of higher stock prices. Personal stability. Managers who manage risks are more likely to keep their jobs. Downside risks, including losses and failures, are an integral part of doing business. Companies that ignore or mismanage risk face disastrous consequences. The history of risk management disasters teaches 7 lessons. Know your business inside out. Risk managers need to know what makes the business tick, and what can make it stop ticking. Establish effective checks and balances. Power corrupts, and unchecked power leads to unchecked corruption. That can lead to an Enron or a Barings, qualitatively different but similar disasters caused by an absence of effective checks and balances. Draw clear lines. Tell managers what is in bounds and what is out of bounds. Make sure they know and respect disciplines that limit credit, market, and operational risks. Follow the cash. In the Kidder Peabody scandal, a trader recorded $350 million in paper profits, but there was no cash evidence of profits. Enron also reported paper profits unsubstantiated by its cash positions. Use appropriate metrics. When Bausch & Lomb gauged management performance by earnings, managers ignored underlying economic reality to maximize earnings and bonuses. You will get the performance you measure, so pick the right yardstick. Pay for performance. Incentives, like metrics, are powerful shapers of behavior. If you pay people to do uneconomic things, people will do them. Balance. All the elements of a risk management program include hard elements, such as technology, processes, and reporting frameworks, as well as soft elements, such as tone at the top, communication, training, and such. Enterprise risk management, ERM. Risks change. They are not stable. They interact with each other, adding to or subtracting from each other. Modern portfolio theory teaches that it is possible to construct a portfolio that is reasonably safe even if it contains a number of high-risk investments, provided that the investments are either uncorrelated or negatively correlated. In the past, risk managers separated market, credit, and operational risks. Enterprise risk management, ERM, treats each of these as an element in an overall risk portfolio, integrating them three ways. Organizational integration. A single risk management organization, often supervised by a chief risk officer, CRO, manages all three kinds of risk. Strategic integration. To avoid duplication, over-hedging, under-insurance, and other missteps, ERM treats insurance, derivatives, and other risk transfer instruments as part of a single risk management strategy. Business process integration. ERM becomes part of the effort to optimize business initiatives such as pricing, sourcing, investment, and others. It does not stand alone. Unlike credit risk and operational risk, where there is a significant downside, the risk-return profile of market risk is more symmetrical. ERM has 7 elements. Corporate governance. Directors and senior management must have the necessary information to assess overall compliance with their risk management strategy, and the processes and controls to adjust it when appropriate. They must define the organization's disposition to take or avoid risk, align the firm's staff and structure with that definition, provide training, and shape the culture. Line management. Functional and operating managers must be able to ensure that the ERM strategy supports their activities. For a financial institution, this might mean ensuring that loan pricing provides for the risk of loss. For an operating company, it might include considering the cost of equity capital in a plant and equipment investment. Portfolio optimization. Risk managers must take a portfolio approach to the firm's risk, optimizing along the efficient frontier, for example by taking into account natural hedges, such as internationally diversified sourcing, in hedging decisions. Risk transfer. When risks are unacceptably high, risk managers must have strategies and processes that allow them to transfer the risk to other parties through the insurance, derivatives, or other markets. Analytics. The first category of risk analytics emphasizes risk control, including scenario analysis, analysis of risk indicators, such as unemployment rates, and economic capital and solvency analysis. The second category focuses on optimization and includes the risk-adjusted return on capital, RAROC, the economic income created, EIC, and the shareholder value analysis. Technology. When the technology is appropriate to risk management, systems can be indispensable. Unfortunately, many companies purchased inappropriate technology, which can't do the job. Today, you can buy appropriate systems off the shelf. Use them out of the box with as little customization as possible, because the systems already contain many of the best practices in risk management. Stakeholders. Each stakeholder constituency, employees, customers, vendors, alliance partners, analysts, stockholders, and so on, requires information about a company's risk profile. Each constituency can increase or decrease a firm's level of risk. Lenders and investors, for example, can demand a higher cost of capital. Employees can threaten the firm by increasing turnover or demanding higher pay. Customers may take their business elsewhere. Vendors may tighten terms of trade. Credit risk. The basic concepts in credit risk management are: 1. Loss. Exposure, severity, and default can all produce loss. 2. Expected loss, L. This is the anticipated rate of loss over time. 2. For a portfolio, the expected loss is the sum of expected losses on individual credit extensions. 3. Unexpected loss, UL. This is the standard deviation of credit losses. 3. The UL of a portfolio is dependent on the correlations among portfolio components. 4. Economic capital and reserves. Firms hold reserves as a buffer against expected losses and economic capital as a buffer against unexpected losses. 5. Off-balance sheet risk. This is the credit risk attributable to off-balance sheet instruments, such as swaps and options. Component-based software is nothing new, but the ability to deploy applications rapidly in a distributed environment using these technologies is. The best practices in credit risk management include: 1. Integrated measurement of credit risks. Monte Carlo simulation analysis allows firms to consider indeterminate risks alongside loan and other straightforward risks. 2. Scenario analysis. allows management to evaluate risk performance across a range of possible situations or confluences of events. 3. Credit risk management. Apply these approaches, among others. 4. 1. Credit scoring. 5. 2. Credit surveillance. 6. 3. Credit migration modeling. 7. 4. Risk-adjusted pricing and profitability modeling, and 8. 5. Active credit portfolio management through loan sales, securitization, and the like. Market risk. A firm's exposure to changes in prices, rates, and such is market risk. Common types of market risk include interest rate, currency, commodity, equity, and basis. Risk of movement between two indices, such as LIBOR and prime rates. Ways to measure market risk include: 1. Gap analysis. Looks at when repricing will occur and calculates the gap between repricing of assets and repricing of liabilities. 2. A firm whose liabilities reprice sooner than its assets is exposed to rising rates. 2. This crude measure omits other factors. 3. Duration. The weighted average time of receipt for cash flows, with the weights being the present values of the cash flows. 4. Value at risk, VAR. The financial industry's current standard, VAR, shows probable loss for a certain portfolio with a specified confidence level and time horizon. Choosing an inappropriate alliance partner is a virtually certain route to a failed alliance. Market risk management cannot eliminate loss, but it can minimize the probability of loss. The best practices in market risk management include: 1. Hotspot analysis. This breaks risk down into its elements, considering not only VAR but VAR by risk factors, by asset types, by geographic region, by trading desk, and more. 2. Best hedge analysis. This calculates how much of each asset the trader must buy or sell to minimize portfolio risk. 3. Best replicating portfolio. This summarizes portfolio risk by using a few assets as proxies or representations. 4. Implied view. This determines what market view the portfolio's asset combination really expresses. Operational risk. Until recently, risk managers all but ignored operational risks. Yet, it contributed to, or caused, such recent disasters as Barings, WorldCom, and Enron. Best practices in operational risk are not clearly defined, since study of operational risk is in its infancy. The chief sources of operational risk are: 1. People. Human beings are subject to dishonesty and error. 2. Processes. This includes inadequate or erroneous documentation or pricing errors. 3. Systems. Computers can fail, models can be flawed, and so on. 4. Events. Consider terrorist attacks, hurricanes, sudden market moves, and such. 5. Business risk. Think of changes in competition, industry structure, or technology. Takeaways. 1. Risk management means balancing between risk and reward. The Chinese character for danger combines the characters for opportunity and risk. 2. Risk and return move together. There is no return without risk, and the higher the possible return, the higher the risk. 3. Use both soft, non-quantitative, and hard, quantitative, risk control measures. 4. Traditionally, companies treated different types of risks as separate matters. Enterprise risk management, ERM, treats all risk as a combined portfolio. 5. Risk management has internal and external, that is, to stakeholders, relevance. 6. The first step in enterprise risk management is establishing a policy that commits the firm to risk management. 7. Risk transfer moves risk from one party to another. Traditionally, risk transfer meant insurance, but alternative risk transfer, ART, approaches also use derivatives. 8. One kind of risk analysis focuses on risk control, the other on optimization. 9. 3 important kinds of risk are credit risk, market risk, and operational risk. 10. Eventually, ERM will be the industry standard for risk management.